What's good, man? It's the Easy Pitch Out podcast with one and only host. You know, Glory Boy back again with another. You see now?
Yeah, I see it's moving.
Back again with another special episode with the one and only
Alexandria.
And she don't want to tell you her last name.
Yeah, y'all don't even know her name.
Too much information. But yeah, Alexandria, how are you?
I'm good.
Alexandria, how are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm good as well. So the reason why I let you introduce yourself in the way that you, okay, go ahead and tell them your socials and whatever, is because you recently deactivated all your social media. And how long has that been?
So it's been 2 years since I had social media.
So you haven't used it in 2 years?
I haven't used any social medias in 2 years. It's crazy. Yeah, I've been out experiencing things in real life, you know.
Damn. I wish I did that before, but I can't because I gotta.
You gotta be, you know. But the reason why I deleted my social media was, you know, it was to find myself and to gather my mindset.
Right.
And to know and figure out who I am as a person, you know, not letting social media dictate who I am. Just to find, who are you, girl? Who are you, Alexandria? You know?
Okay. You saying that you had to find yourself, like, did something happen, like, for you to go ahead and deactivate it? Because there's always gonna be, like, that one thing in life that makes you, you know, make that decision. Because it's not easy to get off your social medias because, you know, that's how people connect. That's how we get a lot of, like, the news. That's how we keep up with the controversial things that's going on. There's something like kind of like happened. I mean, you don't even have to tell us, but you can if you want. Like,
I won't tell the whole story, y'all.
We wanna
Maybe
know,
one
though.
day y'all hear the testimony. But for real, it's when I was in music and I was doing music for the world. I was singing about just being promiscuous altogether. I was singing about so much other things, and there was a moment where I feel like I was not myself anymore. And when I feel like I wasn't myself anymore, I literally feel like I had no control of my body. I feel like I didn't have any control in the way that I spoke to people. I just felt dead. I just felt completely dead and walking. And many people be feeling like that. Like you just every day is just like your eyes closed, you wake up, and it's another picture, but your body is just moving, but there's nothing else to you.
right.
And there was a time, you know, I got home and my mom was praying. She had some worship music on, right? And dude, when she had that worship music on, I just started to cry, you know, skipping ahead. And it was like, Jesus, you are real. It came to a point where like, oh my gosh, God, you are real. And I was like, let me get away from all this thing. And it just happened so suddenly. It was just so quick the first time I did it. I just shut down everything. And I was like, okay, I'm off of it. You know, it was so much things going on, but that really affected my spirit and my mind. So I was like, let me just get away from talking to people. Let me figure out what's going on with me.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's very important. When you can sit down and kind of like, you know, make a decision that's gonna impact your life in a positive way.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, shout out to you. Shout out to you. You're a strong person. Shit. Because a lot of people can't even get off social media for a week. For a week. But 2 years, shout out to you. So let's just jump into someone like the icebreaker, you know, just to get to know you and just to get the feel of this episode. So if you could tell us, like, what are your favorite hobbies or activities to do? Because I mean, you already mentioned the one, it's doing music, but like, what's
I
other ones?
like to dance and I like to write poetry. I like spoken words. I also like reading. I like anything active, you know, but definitely with writing, I love to write. I love to put my thoughts into a paper and pen and just come out something beautiful. Like, try to address my vision, my plan, my heart, and try to connect it with the world, the nature all around me, etc. You know?
Well, that's legit. I mean, I used to try and do like poetry too. I think I did poetry. I went to a poetry slam one time.
Ooh, how was that?
It was good. But you know the funny thing, like my English was not that great yet. So like I was reading with crazy accent. I don't know if they understood me. If they did, good.
They were doing all these snaps.
But I said what I said, man. I said what I said. I try to get into, you know, into that because I also enjoy writing because most of my things that I do on a daily basis, such as like planning my schedule or planning my future, I write things down because I feel like when you write things down, kind of like it's like a stamp. You know, that means it's like I have it.
It's down.
It's down, you know. I'm not just thinking about it, but it's down, which means I have to try and like complete it.
That's good.
That's good. So, and are there like any books, movies, or TV shows or whatever that kind of like impacted you and impacted your life?
I'm gonna say this again, but it's gonna be You Can't Hurt Me. I just love that book so much. I love that book so much, y'all, because this book helped me look at life as like a challenge and overcoming.
Right.
To look at situations in my life, to look at situations that I was dealing with, and be like, it's not as hard and it's not as scary to overcome these things, so you can get to greater things in your life, so you can reach your fullest potential, reaches your highest mountains if you just overcome this and not allow situations in your life to come and to hold you, but overcoming it and fighting through it. And this guy was fighting through it, y'all. He was big. He said he was a big boy and he wanted to join the army, but he was too big, and he was like, I gotta lose this weight. And he had his girlfriend and all that, but it made me be like, dang, he had a hard life. My life is not as bad as his. I can overcome whatever situation I'm dealing with.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, shout out to that. I might check that book out. She said, go check out the book. It really helped her out, you know, impact her in a positive way. And what's something you've always wanted to experience in life as well? Learn or experience? Or...
I want to experience people in a new way. You know, I want to connect with people in a different way. All types of people. Like getting to know a person for their heart. I want to get to a point of having conversations with so many people where I remove layers. We're both so naked within a conversation that we can see each other and it becomes healing and delivering for both parties. I want to be so... The word is so naked, but yes, I want to be so naked in front of somebody and them so naked with us, and there's so much clarity happening. We're in such a different world within a conversation. Right.
Yeah. Yes. Respect. I feel like that's very important. I mean, I graduated with a communication degree. My concentration was mostly like advertisement and public relations. So, and that's why I'm doing this, you know, sitting down, seeing how other people think, you know, learning from them. And it's very important if people tend to do that, because nowadays, as you see, within our society, within our generation as well, it's like people can't really sit down and have a conversation.
Right.
A genuine conversation. They have one or two words and then boom, they go. People are more comfortable just texting than sitting down and having a conversation, like you said.
And to add on to that, I feel like people are so fearful about what they're going to say.
Right.
They're so fearful, like, am I going to say anything wrong? Am I going to say this? Am I going to get canceled? Is this person going to like me after I have this conversation? There's no freedom within the conversation for them to be themselves, you know?
Nah, that's
terrible.
That's a great point. It's a lot of people getting canceled because they can't freely express themselves anymore.
They can't be wrong.
There's no such a thing as like freedom of speech nowadays. You know, it's like there's groups of people that get offended by how other people speak or say certain things, you know? Which I understand. There's things that people can say that can be offensive towards some people, but just allow a person to speak their mind. And then correct them if you have to, but don't take that in a way that you have to cancel them.
Right.
Have them, you know, be looked at so bad within society. And yeah, so now let's go towards self-care. I see your skin is glowing, you know, you take care of your skin. You know what I'm saying? Melanin. Oh, one second, let me just let me move this camera like this. You know, the reason why I like the park today is because it allows us to, you know, be free.
To be free.
It's like birds just flying around, you know, just enjoying the weather. The water. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but there's a waterfall right there. But yeah, so self-care, you know, and that's major for everybody.
Right.
And not just within our culture, they mostly pull self-care upon women a lot. Like women have to do this, like they have to take care of
Yes.
themselves.
You're right.
And they have to shower 3 times a day. They
Right.
have to, you know?
Right.
But like, how do you approach personal growth and self-improvement in your life?
In my life, yeah, one thing, cleaning is so therapeutic. Cleaning is so therapeutic in a way of cleaning yourself, cleaning your room, just having a space that is clear. Because sometimes people's rooms are gonna get messy, right? But don't you realize when things start to get messy in your room, you start to get chaotic, something is going on in your mind? Or situations of life are just starting to happen and your room becomes so messy. And there's this guy, Jordan Peterson. I love his.
Oh, you listen to
I
him?
listen to Jordan Peterson, y'all. Listen. Let me tell you about Jordan Peterson. He was explaining something in such a depth way about how our room reflects our minds. So daily, when I start to see my room being cluttered, I'm like, sometimes I sit, even in the clutter, like, what's going on with my mind right now? Why is my room like this? And just sitting and be like, you have to address it. He said, if you keep asking that question, it's going to come to you about what's going on. And you'd be like, and then it comes. It's like, but the next step is how you're going to address it. And then the answer is yes, address it. So then you could get to the next step and then start cleaning your room, organizing. And it could be the smallest steps, the smallest things, like you fixed this section. Great job. You did that. You know, give yourself your points, you know?
Right. And that's very important, because me personally, I can't do anything if my room is not clean. If I feel like something is messy, it's like my mind going to stick on that little messy thing. You know, like, as like when I was in school, when it was time to study, I have to make sure everything, my whole space, everything is cleaned up,
Right.
for me to sit down and focus and actually be like in tune with my studies, you know. But yeah, that's true. Cleaning, taking care of yourself, like you taking care of your skin. I see that shit is glowing.
Y'all,
Man.
take care of your skin, man. Take care of your skin.
Do that. And how do you like prioritize like self-care and well-being in your daily routine?
My daily routine.
I know you already mentioned cleaning and whatever, but like.
But also skincare, y'all. I love my skincare, and I make sure to take a process and a long time doing it too, y'all. Like I was saying before, but like if you are talking to me while I'm in my self-zoning, I'm in my self-zone, I'm in my kumbaya right now, and I'm taking care of my skin. I put the cleansing, and then I put the aloe vera. You know, it's just a process to it. I don't allow nobody to get into that emotion. Like when somebody tries to call me, when my mom trying to argue, I'm like, Mom, please, I'm in my process right now. And I just, you know, and I allow myself to get into this process, deep into it too. And then also speak to myself, like, you look so good today, girl. Wow, your skin is getting so much clearer. I see what you're doing. Self-affirmation.
More of like self-affirmation. I was just gonna say that. Do you do that like a lot more often? Like, and how does that impact you as a person, like self-affirming?
You don't seek validation from somebody else's words about you. So when somebody says, oh, you are beautiful, you don't be like, oh, I am beautiful, not because this person said it to me. You are beautiful. You are gorgeous. You have something to offer. I am powerful. Right. I am amazing. So when you start saying that to yourself, you're starting to heal things inside of yourself, even when you don't believe it. You start looking at yourself, and sometimes it becomes a tearful thing, and you're just like, yes, even in my flaws, I am beautiful. Even in my wrongness, I'm okay, you know? I may feel weak right now, but I'm strong, you know? Right. It's just saying those certain things to yourself back and forth until it becomes a reality.
That's a fact. And as you know, we live in a busy world, right? How do you find moments of mindfulness and stay connected with your inner self? Because that's, I mean, we in America, we're busy every day, like we're working 24/7, there's bills to pay. Like, how do you find that moment for yourself? Like,
breathing. Let's breathe right now, low-key.
Why am I laughing? All right,
just breathe. Let's breathe. Yes. We let go of all that negativity and that busyness of our day. You know, and situations that come out of the blues, we just breathe that in and we let it go. And having a moment to calm yourself.
Where do you breathe
Not
at?
being
Like,
so-
outside or inside?
So inside of my room, outside. I live right next to canal side, so there's this water in the rocks.
And you do that.
Right there. So I walk out over there and I sit there, look at the water, hear the rocks. People walking by, I don't even care. Sometimes you don't care. It's okay to be embarrassed, because sometimes it's okay to be odd. It's okay to be a little weird sometimes. You have to be comfortable with being weird, you know? But I would just sit there, people walking, look, I don't care. It's about me right now. And I'll sit there and I would breathe so I could feel grounded. And then meditate on my day. What did I do today? What did I do wrong today? Looking at my day, seeing how it looks like, you know? Yeah.
Nah, respect. You have to be comfortable in an uncomfortable position in order to evolve.
Watch that
in life.
podcast.
You know what I'm saying? Be comfortable in an uncomfortable position in order to evolve in life. Trust me, that's how a lot of people succeed. You know, like you're just gonna sit out there thinking people don't really care. Like, so now let's kind of like move on to technology. We kind of had that conversation where you say, "Oh, social media. I don't have social media for 2." But like, how do you feel technology has changed the way that we interact or connect with others, or even our peers as well? Let me say that.
My perspective on this is, I feel like sometimes we perceive people by what they post. And by what somebody posts, you feel like you know them by what they post. Right. So this person is a comedian on Facebook. You think this person is a comedian in real life. Like, you better make me laugh. When I see them jokes that and this person could be so boring, right? This person could be, and not even boring, but this person is just so calm and just so situated. But they love to share memes. They use that to make themselves laugh. Right. But you perceive this person as this about what they're posting, right?
Right.
So now that is how you're going to address that person. You're going to try to move and now you're acting like you know this person by what they post, you know? And it removes to me the sensibility of, let's say this person is popular and famous, right? This person is so popular and famous. You're looking at this person and now you're like nervous because you're like, this person is this person is that, and you don't even know how to address them. Now you're weird. Now you're acting all so nervous. Now you're acting so weird, and but you don't know if this person has such a great heart. You don't know this person. So it takes away the place of getting to know a person for themselves, you know,
right.
And let them tell you who they are, you know.
You know what's crazy? You just made a good point. So I used to watch this one couple, where this one dude was so, I think he was a pastor or something, but he was teaching real stuff. Like, he was showing himself as to be like the best guy. You know, like every woman is out there like praising this guy. Oh my God, he's so nice to his woman. Like, he takes care of her. Da-da-da-da. You know, just perceiving what they're being fed to, like what they're being given. And then all of a sudden, later on, they found out that this guy was cheating on his wife. He was a player.
I think what you're talking about. Yes.
You know, because people were just looking at him on social media thinking he's this one loyal guy.
And he was teaching.
Teaching.
Females, and the females were going forward. They were eating it up. Yes.
Exactly. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, you just made a good point, because a lot of times within our generation today and just society in general, it's like people perceive something and then they let that control their way of thinking. And that's why we have less people that are very good critical thinkers, very good in terms of, like, you know, making their own decisions, because they don't let the social media stuff, you know, like, get to them.
Right.
The things they see get to them. But also, like, do you think like that kind of like ruined the world of dating? Because, you know, people want to look a certain way on the internet and act a certain way, and then when you see them in real life, it's like
there's something completely different. You know, people are not themselves because they want validation from other people. They want to hear, oh, this person is such a great person. This person, they're doing things the most to act in front of the world. So they're doing this because they're scared to be themselves. And sometimes their selves is ugly. So they don't want to be themselves. So they act like something else, and they make that their persona. And then they lie to themselves so much they believe they're actually that person, and they don't address the things that's happening in the inside of themselves. Right? So now you're acting, and because now you're not feeling like yourself, you're gonna do the most all the time. You're going to always have to act like you're performing because you're not yourself. And then when you get the chance to be by yourself, you don't know who you are.
Right.
You're just like, who am I?
Right. And so you're an artist, you make music, you write poetry and so on. So there's media and there's pop culture. And they have influence on society. But like, do you think media and pop culture often influence our perception of like beauty and masculinity, and also if we look at femininity, do you think like they kind of like influence those three things?
There's so many sounds happening in music, and I feel like our mainstream music is causing division between both the genders. It's causing division against us, whereas like, I don't need no man and I don't need no woman, and you can't tell me what to do, and you can't tell me what to do, and I'm gonna be outside regardless. Forget you.
We outside.
You know, we outside today, y'all. Literally, we're outside, you know? But when it comes to those two ideas of like, we don't need each other, there is, we forget how to connect as human beings.
Right.
So now it's beyond, so it's not looking at you're a male, and everything that I know about a man is how I'm gonna address you like. So everything that I've learned, which could be from this music, everything that I learned, which could be from culture, everything that I learned from my mother, is everything that I'm receiving, and that's how I'm gonna address you because you're a man. Instead of looking at you as a person, instead of looking at you as another person who has flaws just like me, another person who used the bathroom just like me, and forgetting that aspect, you know?
Right.
There is difference between us males and females, but at the end of the day, we are all beings, we're all humans, we all have spirits, you know?
Right. And we kind of had this conversation earlier about these artists. So I want to ask you, like, you see how like a lot of times there was Andrew Tate, Kevin Samuel, and even Jordan Peterson. Let me just add him up on that list too. And a lot of people kind of look at them as, oh, these guys, they're bringing toxic masculinity amongst young men. You know, they're not really doing da-da-da-da. But if you do watch their full episodes, it's like, yes, there's certain things they will say where it feels like, okay, they're telling men to say, forget these women, or pick a woman that looks a certain way, this way. You know, but in order for you to do that, in order for you, you're not just gonna pick a woman, but in order for you to get any woman you want in your life, you have to better yourself.
Right.
You know, you have to work hard, go to the gym, stack your money, start business, and so on. So, and then people don't really talk about that side of their conversations. And there's all these other women, such as Cardi B, Sexy Red, Amber Rose, who kind of like, Amber Rose is one of the women that tells women, like, you could be a hoe, like, do whatever you want, you could be a hoe, like, don't care about no man, you know. But they're not really being like spoken of, because they're influencing the younger women in a bad way too, you know. But like, what's your opinion on that? I mean, you're a woman. Me, to be honest, I do listen to Andrew Tate and them, and there's things that I listen to them and I'd be like, okay, this is real, like, I have to get my money. I have to start a business, you know. And there's things that they would say, I'll be like, okay, you could have said,
yeah, you can say a little different.
Like, I have mother, I have sisters. You could have said different, because I don't want them being around some jerks, you know.
Right.
But yeah.
My perspective on that, so there was a time when I would really listen to the manosphere. Jordan Peterson is kind of secluded from it, because I used him as look at myself thing instead of looking at male perspective, because he's a therapist, so he opens up about many things. But when I would listen to Kevin Samuels and, you know, Jordan Peterson, and not Jordan Peterson, but Andrew Tate, right? I would listen to them, and like you said, sometimes it's about building your self-value as a man to, you know, become the best version of yourself, and don't focus so much on females, so you know who you are as a being, right? But there was times when I would listen to them and they would just be like, and a female needs to submit to a man. She needs to humble herself. She needs to do this. She needs to do that. She needs to do that.
You felt some type of way?
And I didn't just feel some type of way. I was just like, why do I need to submit to somebody and I don't even know where he's leading me? They wanted blind submissions from females. Blind submission. Because I'm a man, submit. And what are you submitting to?
Right.
What is this vision that this man wants you to submit to? Is it aligned to your purpose? Right? Is it aligned to what you want to do? Is it coming together as a peaceful kumbaya, and then you're like, I will submit to his leading? Because where he's going, I see his vision, and I believe in this vision. I'm going to follow it. And I'm going to stick beside it. With females, right? When it comes to these Amber Rose and all these things, it's all I'm hearing from this female side is live your life and be promiscuous. It's the best things to do. But a girl, we are receivers. Everything that we give out, everything we receive from a man, if you want to have all these men's inside of you, right? You're not just taking this person inside of you, but you're also taking parts of their personality with them. So when you're starting to mix, you're putting yourself out to mix with people's spirits, and now you're getting some things from them. Now you're a little bit more angrier. Now you're more funnier or whatever. But because you guys are getting so close into this bond, you're losing your part of yourself and you're getting this person. And sometimes you're connecting in a way that's not even, that wasn't for you. And now you lost yourself.
Right.
Now you're losing yourself and you don't know who you are. And now you're finding your validation in men. So now you feel like you have to be the most sexiest. You have to be the most nastiest. You know, you got to do the flips, the tricks, the backbends, the everything. You got to do the whole world to impress him. Just for him to be like, I'm pleased with you. When you're not even pleased with yourself.
You know, one thing I can say, men don't really like that too. They don't like all that.
And we're taught that. It's crazy
stuff or whatever. A lot of men will be like, yes, I like it, but they will like it in that moment.
Mm-hmm. And the next thing you know, they'll be like, ugh.
In the long run,
can you imagine?
They're going to say, this woman is crazy. No, I'm not trying. Because men, we rely more on our peace. You know, like, if you ever meet a man, just ask him, like, what does a man want from a woman? They will always mention, I want peace. You know, so if a man say they want peace, it doesn't mean just peace of mind where like, oh, don't argue with me, da-da-da. They don't want to feel like they're being surrounded by too much chaos, you know. They want their woman to be calm, you know, she can be herself, but not like the one that flips everything.
She's doing
crazy.
that to impress.
Yeah, like the one that's
not even her.
Yeah,
she don't want to do that for real.
Exactly.
She don't even really want to do that for real, but she's doing it for you. Because she's like, I'm going to do anything to please him, and you know, I got to do this for him because that's the only way he's going to want me. Because what if another girl does it and I can't do it?
Right.
So now she's performing. And she's scared to be herself. And the only way she's able to express herself is in a sexual manner. To connect to a man. She feels like she can't connect to him, to his heart.
So let me ask you another question on like this. So you know the one girl, Chrisean and Blueface?
Yeah.
What's your opinion on the relationship? Like, because I know, personally, a lot of people would say, oh, I like a little toxic because it kind of bring a little fun towards the relationship, but also I like a little calm, you know. But them is like complete toxic. Like,
toxicity.
Yeah, what's your opinion on that? Like, and are you the type to kind of like say I like a little toxic or whatever?
I met a girl, right, and I remember we was giving advice. She was talking about this man, and this man was cheating on his girlfriend, and she knew this. But she ended up finding out, but she was like, she likes the game. The game is what intrigues her. At one point, I like to be a toxic to a man, but not arguing all the time, but I love to the fuss a little bit. You know, there's this fight, like this little chaos, because at the end of it, it's like this amazing thing happens, right? And then you build it, and it comes this pull, and it's like, it's a nasty
toxic
game.
Too.
It's a toxic. I'm not toxic no more, y'all. We are healed here. We are healing, okay, y'all? But now I love my peace.
Right.
And I love communication. We don't have to argue. We don't have to yell at each other for us to get our point across. Why are you feeling this way? Why are you doing this? But Blueface and Chrisean, people love toxicity. People love that. If people didn't love it, it wouldn't be so mainstream. There wouldn't be so funny. There wouldn't be a show. Just like how people love seeing people fight. Just like people love hearing people talk about drugs and everybody loves the things that's negative because it's something that it's a thrill that comes from it. People love a thrill, even when it costs their soul, even when it costs their peace of mind, even when it comes at their calmness. So when a calmness do come to them, they're not used to it. So now they have to become the chaos. Now they have to become the drama because they don't know how to live in peace. And some people don't want peace. They think that little toxicity is so fun. But at the long run, that's what you want out of life. And you have to ask yourself, why do I like this toxicity? Why do I like that cat and mouse game? You know?
Right.
So y'all, don't be like Chrisean and Blueface, y'all.
Nah,
they're advertising from it. And then you can see Chrisean, you see her broken. You see her in her brokenness, and you see somebody profiting. Even him and he's probably dealing with, you know, we can't just pick one side. We have to look at the whole picture. We don't know what he's going through and why he's the way he is, or how his upbringing and why he loves that. You know, we don't know her either. We don't know both of them, but we see two broken people saying that they love each other, but they're hurting themselves. And that's many situations in relationships. Two broken people trying to figure out love and relations and what love is.
Yeah, right. Facts. Are you single or are you dating at the moment?
I'm single, y'all. I am single. Yep, y'all. But you know,
are you ready to mingle? 'Cause
am I ready to mingle?
people watching.
I'm not even ready to mingle, y'all. Because I feel like I have to build certain things in my heart, certain things in my mind, certain things in my spirit before I get into a relationship. And I also realized too that so many people feel like they have to build themselves completely to get into a relationship, and then they're like, I'm ready, right? I have to have 3 houses, 2 cars. I have to have my degree, master's degree. And by the time you're 30, 40, you just lost your whole youth. But there's certain things about you, like your identity, you have to know before you get into a relationship. Because you allow somebody to dictate who you are, then you're living for them and not living for yourself. You know?
Right. And also, I wanted to ask this. So in a dating world, should one gender be expected to make the first move, or is it time for more equal approach? Because as you can see, like before, men would be the ones to, you know, make the first move. Nowadays, you see a lot of women kind of like build up that confidence where they're making the first move, and when they do make the first move, it's scary to some guys. It's like, what?
How do you feel about that? Before I answer that question, how do you feel about a girl making her first move?
Hey, I respect that. I respect that. I respect the woman making the first move, but it's how she gonna make that first move. You know, it's how she. Cause women also kind of like look at men and say like, they like when a man make the first move, but it's how he approaches her.
Right.
The same thing with women. Like, if a woman approach me in a way that she's respectful, like, oh, I think you're very handsome.
Right. So it's not like, yo.
I'd like to get to know you.
None of that?
Or like, she make a first move as in she want attention. And she start doing all that crazy thing. Or you in a club and she start just trying to like dance in the circle, and then she comes to dance to you and then try to tell you like, oh, I like you or whatever.
Right.
Then a lot of men would be like,
You just over. But it's so crazy because y'all love that though.
Yeah, but
you know, it's interesting because you know. Go ahead.
But not really. We don't love that. We don't. Some guys do love it, but me personally, there's good women. I'm not judging, but me personally, I'm not gonna go to a club to get a woman.
Right.
Because the club woman is not. It's not given for me. You know, I'm not saying she's bad. You know, or I'm not gonna be judging her or whatever. But it's just that I feel like that's not a place to find a woman.
I agree.
You know, like the best place to find a woman, fellas, is at a grocery store, at a shopping mall or whatever, at a concert, at a game. You know, places that's easier to socialize.
Yeah.
You know, because you want to have a conversation with her.
Right.
You know, you don't want to just approach a woman, scream in her ear, she's screaming in your ears, and you go. You know, because I can't even have a full conversation at the club. You know, it has to be somewhere that's calm. You know, but yeah. But I don't got nothing against women making their first move. I feel like if they're confident and they saw you before you saw them, go for it.
Right. With me all, y'all, I'm learning how to shoot my shot, you know. But at the same time, I do want to be, like one thing, when I'm ready for dating, I'm not going to hide myself and be such a like, just don't talk to me and act like, no. I'm going to, there's so many type of games, y'all. There's so many different types of games that people can play. But, you know, I want one that's very real. Let me see. I want one, like, so let's say a guy comes, right? I'm gonna open up, right? Just to see their perspective and things. But I feel like when girls shoot their shots, it's okay too, right? But there's different way girls shoot their shots. They might like your picture 5 times. They might go through your timeline, like 5 pictures,
That's
right?
a fact.
You know, they might, they see you, they just staring at you, look away, staring at you, look away. You know, certain things, it's little games like that. But I also want to be just like, whoa, you look so good. And I'm like, thank you, you know, and we could talk about that. I'm like, oh, you look good. It's just like a calmness in it, you know. It's no harm in flirting, but there is. Yeah, you know.
There is.
Don't flirt if you're not ready to, you know, take things a little further, you know, a little further.
No, that's a fact. All right, last question. Let's talk about gender equality. Gender equality is mostly looked upon in workplaces, you know. So, and what steps can organizations like take to ensure equal opportunities and representation for both men and women, not just in workplaces, but I mean, sports also is workplace, so yeah. If you just...
So, the first thing with because I play basketball, y'all. So, you know, when it comes to this man and woman thing, let's just take that out the picture, right? And just let's look at the consumers and what people are buying. If people are funding and if people are watching more NBA than WNBA, we should assume just by the consumers where the funding should be, right? In those type of in advertisement, in music, you know, in all these things, we see that if Cardi B is watching like Nicki Minaj, if people are watching Nicki Minaj, they should fund her to the amount of time, the amount that people are watching her. It's consumers. It's all about the consumers, you know. But even in a regular workspace, right? I don't look. I feel like I think we're all good. I think it's fine. And when people,
they're about to attack you.
I know they're about to attack me, y'all. But let's really look at 10 years ago, and let's look at now. We are in such a different place, and if we have too much of a victim mentality, then it's just a victim mentality is not going to get us anywhere. It's not going to get us anywhere. So if you work hard, just believe that you're going to get funded for your working hard. If you're a person that's hungry and you want to get to this point, how much work you put into it is how much you're going to get. And we do know those people. We're not going to try to act like there's not those people that be like, oh, because she's a female, I'm able to manipulate her. But do we not all have those sexual conversations within like when you get into a job and they're like, if this happens, a sexual conduct happened to you, address this to the higher authority, to HR. I think every job has that conversations with their employees. If anybody's trying to make a move on you and they're trying to take an opportunity from you because of this, that's able to be addressed. So now, if that's placed in every workforce where you have to talk about that, and if you ever feel uncomfortable, you could talk to HR about it, then we should know that that's illegal, right, y'all? Nobody's going to use you because you're a male or a female. It's about what you're able to produce for the company. What are you able to do? What are you able to bring, you know?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah.
And that's why I actually asked you that question, because you're a woman, you know, because a lot of women feel like they're not being valued within workplaces. I kind of had like this conversation with a lot of women. And also I have a minor in women and gender studies, and in class, or one time in class, they asked a question like, do you think men and do you think women should play in men's sports? And I was like, no, I don't think so, because we're built different. You know, there should be women's sports and there should be men's sports. You know, simple as that. And like in class, let me tell you, they went against me. Like, because the class I was in, it was just, I think I was the only guy. I was the only guy. Everybody else was women. No, it was two guys. And everybody else was women. They went against me. I'm like, no, it's just how it is. It's like our bone structures and everything, our ability to perform is different. Like, why can't it just be like that? And they say, no, I think some girls was like, I used to play with guys when I was in academy, but I'm like, it was academy, but were those guys built as men already? Did they have their men's strength already? She said, no. But still, even right now, it could still happen. I'm like, nah. But yeah, it's just how it is. It's just how people think. People think different. Yeah. But yeah, this was a good episode. It looks like we're running out of time, and I don't want to keep you here longer because you have work and stuff. But yeah, appreciate you for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
Nah, for sure, for sure. All right, yo, this is Easy Pinchot Podcast with your one and only host, Glory Boy. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button for more episodes like this, man. And we out of here.
Deuces.
Peace.